What is up and what's happening, Auburn fans? Welcome into Auburn Primetime Live. I'm your guy, Blake Lane, the 45th Auburn Primetime Live. And it's still one where we're sitting here talking about Hugh Freeze and the Auburn football Tigers. Under 500, a head coach takes the podium. And it's basically the same thing. It is basically Hugh Freeze standing up there talking about how the Auburn Tigers are still so close and they're still struggling to make plays, to win games, and we're just close. We're just close, y'all. When I watched that press conference and he pointed out that guys were not making field goals, we were dropping passes, we weren't making the right reads at quarterback, and things like that. Just, it all comes back to the same old excuses. And, I hate getting on here and talking about the same old crap every week. But this is where we're at. We chose not to fire him after starting 0-4 in the Southeastern Conference. And me personally, I think it made Auburn look weak. And I might get some backlash for that. People might say I'm crazy. Whatever. I just think it made you look really, really weak. Because I see on Twitter today, people are like, okay, well, the best possible outcome for all of this is for the Auburn Tigers to win out. And then you keep Hugh Freeze. And I'm sitting there going, win out? What are you talking about? Win out. Does that product look like something that's going to win out? Does that product that you see every single Saturday look like a team that's going to win out? And Hugh Freeze opens up with, well, our opponents, the four opponents that we've lost to, they do have a combined record of 25-3. Brother, I don't care. Stop trying to take that route. Auburn should not lose to Missouri. Auburn should not be on a 9-game losing streak to Georgia. Jabari Smith, 3, baby. Auburn should not be losing to Vanderbilt. Auburn should not be losing to Cal. New Mexico State. It's the same old crap, but Hugh always finds a way to deflect it. He always finds a way to come up with something that tries to make it sound good. Like, we're almost there, man. We're just so close. It's just a couple of plays here and there. We're just so close. Hugh, I hate it for you, man. I really do, because I backed you. Thought you were going to do some great things at Auburn. But I think a lot of this also has to do with this fan base is so upset because of how you've lost. And it's not just this year. It's all 3 years. And it's been the same exact way. And people, I had a guy talk about Drink, because last episode I brought up Eli Drinkwitz, and they were saying that their team, they looked worse than us. And I was like, they won. You remember that. So we're talking again, and, he's like, well, it did take, you always mention that it took Drink 4 years. It did take him 4 years at Missouri, but it looked completely different. Yes, he was going 7-5 and 8-5 with a bowl win, or 7-6 with a bowl loss, but it was looking promising. What's happening at Auburn isn't looking promising. And watching that press conference yesterday, It looked like desperation. It looked like him standing there like he was a dead man walking, and he knows it. And he was sitting there basically asking for more time. Please don't fire me just yet. I can get this right. Okay, so my point to the whole, if he goes undefeated, if he wins out, all right, we can keep him. All right, well, this Saturday you go on the road at Arkansas. Their offense is pretty dang good. They're going to score. I think Taylon Green has improved from last year. You might win that game. Then you have Vanderbilt. I don't see us beating Vanderbilt, folks. I don't. I think Pavia and the Stowers kid, that offense, they're playing much better on the defensive side of the ball this year. They're a top 10 team in the country. They're coached great. One of their staff, one of their guys on staff has our number with Coach Keel. I don't think Auburn goes to Nashville and wins that game. I don't care how many Auburn fans show up. All right. Hell, 90,000 showed up in Jordan-Hare, and they continuously show up, and we still can't even win there. So what makes me think we're going to win in Nashville? Pavia is going to walk the dog on Hugh Freeze for a third straight year. So then, well, you got Kentucky. You might beat Kentucky. You get them at home. You might beat Kentucky. So Mercer, you should beat Mercer. I agree, Brad. You should beat Mercer. And then you got Alabama. Do you really think we're beating Alabama right now? Come on. Hey, you can listen to all these other people get on Twitter or on podcasts or whatever and say, well, it is the Iron Bowl. Dog, come on. We're about to be 6 in a row to them cats. A 6-piece McNugget. And they're laughing all the way to the bank because guess what? We were sitting here saying, Kalen DeBoer, Hugh Freeze is going to run Kalen DeBoer off the field. Hugh Freeze he's going to recruit circles around him. Hugh Freeze is a better coach than Kalen DeBoer. And now look at them. They're rolling. It's everybody, Daniel. It's a losing culture. It's not just Jackson Arnold. It's everybody. It's a losing culture. They can't win games. I said over the summer, players make plays late to win games. When your players continuously fail to make those plays, there's one person that it falls back on. And that's the leader of the program. And that's your head coach. Blake, Ty Simpson looks like a Heisman QB. Yeah, he's got to be in the conversation. I think he's probably, at this point, leading the conversation. I think you can put Ty Simpson, Gunnar Stockton. People might think I'm crazy for that take, but I think Gunnar Stockton's a dog. I think without him, man, where would Georgia be? I think he's played really well. Even in the Alabama game in that second half, I thought he played really well. And he probably, in my opinion, he might even be the guy if Ty Simpson hadn't cranked it up and he didn't have the head-to-head on him. So I think you could throw Julian Sayin in there, and there's a couple of other guys that you could put in there. But I think Carson Beck's kind of went down the drain with those 4 picks. He could still do some damage and things to get into it, get back into it. But the Moore kid up at Oregon, he kind of fell out of it after losing to Indiana. Mendoza's in it. Wow. And, getting off track a little bit from the presser and everything, you really look at Hugh's downfall. We bring up Jackson on the right. Daniel says, well, it's Jackson. Okay, well, that brings me to my next point is your head coach scheduled Cal, all right? or the AD years ago, whatever, however it's set up. Your head coach played Cal. Mendoza was Cal's quarterback. He come into Jordan-Hare. He walked the dog on us. He walked the dog on us. We didn't even attempt to go get him. You let him walk smooth out of the stadium and don't say, oh, well, that's tampering. Stop. It goes on. It happens. I've heard people say that there's already an asking price for $3 million on Cam Coleman. All right. The tampering stuff and all that, it happens everywhere. It's a free game out there. You let him walk out of that stadium after walking the dog on you. Same thing with Diego Pavia in New Mexico State. You let him walk out of that stadium. You didn't go try to get Cam Ward and pay the $1 million. And don't sit here and tell me that Auburn don't have $1 million. But I told you, over that summer, Auburn was not going to do it. I said Hugh Freeze will not. He will not try to pay that because they have so much money tied up in Peyton Thorne. And that's just the way they're going to go about it. He's going to live or die on Peyton Thorne. I said it all summer. Guess what, folks? Robbie Ashford, hold the phone, check the news. Maybe hit Google one time. Robbie Ashford's 4-2 at Wake Forest. Robbie Ashford's 4-2 at Wake Forest, folks. John Mateer is the Heisman frontrunner? No, he lost to Arch Manning. Got blown out by Arch Manning. I think Ty Simpson is the Heisman frontrunner. And I think him and Mendoza are probably 1-2 right now. Yeah. And then Gunnar Stockton's up there in the conversation. Mateer, look, I'll be honest with y'all. I know this is off track from Auburn a little bit, but Mateer, I've said all along that even going in, go back and watch the video of us going in the preview of Oklahoma. I said Mateer throws the ball. He throws into really tight windows, which sometimes you have to do that. But he puts the ball in traffic a lot, and he throws picks, and he makes a lot of mistakes. Michigan didn't make him pay, and Auburn had opportunities. That's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. But Texas made him pay. And so, I don't know, there's been quarterbacks that you could have went and got, and it didn't happen. And so now you go and get Jackson. And what I mean by a losing culture is Cam Coleman, the ball. Jackson throws the best ball he's thrown all year, and Cam drops it. That's a losing culture. The losing culture. And then he goes on to talk about Connor Lew tearing his ACL. Man, shout out to Connor Lew, dog, warrior. Just been through it at Auburn, man. Been through the losses and the heartbreak, and just been an absolute fighter. And wish him well. Hope he comes back and stronger than ever. And I hope this doesn't hurt his draft stock because huge Connor Lew guy, and I think he's an NFL player. So I want him to have a heck of a career on Sundays. And we're talking about the Ellis kid, man, stepping in as a 17-year-old, supposed to be in high school, and that's a blow to your offense. Any way you look at it, has he played great? Yeah, the little time he's been in there, he's been fantastic. But it's still a blow. Anytime you lose a guy like Connor Lew, that hurts. And you're going into an atmosphere that's going to be pretty cranked up, because this Arkansas team, they believe under Bobby Petrino. don't think any different. They believe in Bobby P. They know their offense is gonna click, and they think that they can stop Auburn a few times to get a lead where they think's comfortable and where they can win a football game. And that blow hurts. I hope the Ellis kid can come in and he can take control of that offensive line. And Hugh talked about Mason Murphy taking snaps. He hasn't played a lot of center. Too tall going out there to tackle and all that stuff. And it was just an underwhelming press conference, in my opinion. It was an underwhelming press conference. He talked about Perry Thompson not knowing how to practice, and he's, just so excited for him and his success. He called his uncle and all that. I'm like, man, I know Horatio was Jackson's comfort blanket, and I know he was the chemistry guy. But it really, really looked like Perry Thompson the last couple weeks should have been on the field. It really has. I know he had that one drop, but the kid has looked really, really good. And it's head scratching sometimes with where we're going as a program. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard to get on here and talk about it, 3 times a week because it's the same stuff. We're close. We're close. It shocked me when he brought up the record. Like, brother, come on. What are we doing? I don't give a damn about 25-3, the 4 opponents. Auburn shouldn't be losing to Missouri. Mike says, War Damn Eagle fam, what's up, brother? How we doing? Miss Karen says, War Damn fam. Thomas says, War Eagle, y'all. War Damn, baby, War Damn. Hey, everyone, we are close. We are close. Connie says, War Eagle, how are you doing, Miss Connie? Miss Karen says, so close, Michael. Thomas says, Gus Bus and Struggle Bus is the same damn thing. That's a fact. Dion says, War Damn Eagle family, how we doing tonight? How can we hope Auburn win while still hoping we fire this head coach? So here's my thing, man. I'll never root for Auburn to lose. Even when Brian Harsin was here, I still find myself in front of the TV pulling for Auburn, wanting Auburn to win games. But at the end of the day, you got to call a spade, right? You gotta look at the deck of cards and say, hey, let's not Florida this thing. Don't pull a Florida. Don't do it. Don't let it happen, because I fear that's what's happening. Is Auburn is clinging on to hopefully close out the season winning enough games. And they're going to ride that momentum train like Florida did. And how well did it work out for Florida? It did. They tried to delay the inevitable, just like I told you the other night that Auburn was doing. And they tried to save face, and it didn't work out. And I truly feel like that's what Auburn is hoping. And I saw, dang, I can't remember who it was today, but I saw somebody and they were talking the stretch that Auburn could go on and things. And I'm like, if we would have been scoring 28, 31 points, and we'd have been losing on some crazy stuff and things like, no, but we've been losing 20-17. And some of it's been because of our defense, like creating turnovers and setting our offense up in really good field position and things like that. It's not like this offense has just a full 4 quarters turned it on and went down and scored points. It is Auburn's somehow at the first couple of games, first 4 games, they were terrible at starting fast. The script was awful. Now, the last couple of games, the script's been really good, but once they get off the script, they're terrible. Okay, Barry. Once they get off the script, they're terrible. and it's not getting any better. So that's why I say not firing him after the Missouri game. I thought you should have fired him after the Georgia game. Then the Missouri game happened, and I said, okay, you really need to fire him. Now you're taking it as far as I've heard people say the bye week. What are we doing? But this is what Auburn is hoping, that he goes to Arkansas and wins, and then you get Vandy and you beat Vandy. That's what they're hoping. They're hoping that it creates a spark. And I'm a believer that I'm a believer like Brett. He's just walking the green mile. And I think it's over with. I think it's over with. Where are we at on these comments? Let me get back up here. Bobby is 3-0 against Freeze. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous about that Arkansas game. I think everybody should be nervous about the Arkansas game. Petrino's came with it. Yeah, I said last year when they brought him back to Arkansas as the OC, I said this is the best thing that Arkansas could do. And people on Twitter were like, "Why would you say that? Like everything that happened." And I'm like, "Look, if we can give Hugh a second chance, Arkansas can give him a second chance." Okay. I know what happened, but it's in the past. It's over with. If you bring him back for offensive coordinator, you might as well just bring him back to be your head coach. And the last time Arkansas was rolling was under Bobby P, and they haven't been the same since. And that offense is scary. And if they give him that job, they could really start to cook. But if they don't, I think just turn it into a baseball and basketball school from here on out. Because I think Bobby P has done enough. I really do, man. Like they went from getting beat by 40 to the hands of Notre Dame to competing in the Southeastern Conference and just being close with how bad that defense is. That's funny. I pulled for him, but now I see he's giving us years of garbage. QBs, I'm done this man that I wanted because of his SEC experience. Hugh Freeze can't even evaluate a damn QB. That's the truth. That's the truth. You know what? You know what's crazy to me? I brought him up a while ago. Has anybody watched Robbie Ashford this year? Just a yay or nay. Just a yay or nay. That's all we got to. Because if you have, he was once on our roster. And is it great with Robbie? No, it's not. All right. But I watch him at Wake Forest right now, and I'm saying, dang, man, that dude wasn't playing like that when he was at Auburn. That dude's full of confidence. He's letting it go. Does he make every throw in the world? No. Sometimes you're like, man, that's rough. Am I sitting here saying he's an NFL quarterback? No, because he's not. But boy, he wouldn't stand there and get sacked 10 times in Norman, Oklahoma. He's moving the football at Wake Forest, and they're winning games. And while he was at Auburn, he was barely getting a chance with Hugh. I'm not saying he's the quarterback, he was the quarterback of the future, but I'm saying to what my guy Mario said is when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks, man, I watch these players, not just quarterbacks, I watch these other players leave and go to different schools and they become successful. Keontae Scott, dude's at Miami right now balling. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I hope this Auburn fan hatred doesn't roll right into basketball season and CSP gets shafted when we're not perfect. Ernest, we have to cut some slack for Stephen Pearl. And what I mean by that is not we can't go into this season thinking it's going to be like last year because of everything we had last year. We had real dudes that were senior driven and they had played together and they were very, very experienced in the Southeastern Conference. And Janai Broome. And I just really think that it's going to be a little different this year. I don't know if we're going to have the year that we had last year, and I think it's going to be a little different than the 32-6 or whatever. So when we don't go that, don't panic, don't freak out. It might look a little different, and you might not make the Final Four in Stephen Pearl's first year. So, bottom line, I just want to win again. I feel like a boxer that can't punch as an Auburn fan right now. Yeah, and I feel like you're standing across from Floyd Mayweather and just getting popped, just in and out, pop, 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 jab to death. And we're trying to swing back and can't nobody hit Floyd. So that's how I feel. It didn't matter if we had Josh Allen on the roster. Freeze wasn't starting him over PT last year. Hard to argue. Hard to argue. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And, I think that's what brings me to, in the press conference too, they talked about quarterback change. And he said, what was it? Oh, we're going to play to win, when they asked him about possibly putting in another quarterback. We're going to play to win. Wait, you should have been playing to win from the get-go, brother. What are you doing? This is what I mean about him being tragic behind a microphone. He is awful behind a microphone, y'all. All bets are off. We're going to win. Brother, you should have been going to win 4 weeks ago. I don't get it. Serious question. If the trend continues, the defense gives the offense chance after chance, which can't be done without the defense being on the field most of the game and the offense stalls. How do we win? We don't. We don't, because I truly believe Arkansas's offense is going to move the ball, and they're going to score. And I don't know how Auburn keeps up in this game. I feel so sorry for our defense. I really do. I feel terrible for kids like Xavier Atkins. I feel terrible for Keldrick Falk. Oh, yeah, another thing. First, Ernest, yes. Uh, Boy, when I heard it, what are you even saying, man? Uh, Kane Womack at Auburn. I doubt he's on the list. Man, I wish we had Lane Kiffin. Tell me about it. Me too. Me too. Um, Another thing, we the other night we talked about Missouri at midfield before the coin flip and everything, and after they won the coin toss, and um, they panned over to Keldrick Fault chewing the offense out before overtime, and I'm sitting here and I'm saying, dude, that's bad. That's bad. That one of our defensive ends is having to rip ass on our offense. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? I, a defensive end is having to go to the offensive huddle and saying, hey, please, please help us. Help. Please. Just a little help. I feel like LeBron in the finals in 07. Just help me, please. Yeah, I know that's gonna eventually happen. It could happen Saturday, to be honest. Have you given your top 3 to 5 wish list yet? Probably not gonna do it until he actually gets fired, Mike, to be honest. Because somehow I just uh, it keeps getting delayed, and I just don't trust Auburn at this point. Java, a lot of good it did. Yeah, but Brad, it's just when I see that, why isn't Jackson Arnold in everybody's face? Why aren't you in their ears saying, hey, man, let's freaking go right here. Let's go get 7. Let's go put this thing away. There's no leader. There's no leaders. All they care about is wearing a G-Shock. That's it. The G-Shock boys. That lasted a week. I think about Dabo. I don't. Dabo wouldn't coach at Auburn. He's an Alabama guy. I don't think Dabo would even consider taking the Auburn job. What do I think about him at Auburn? I don't like the way Dabo doesn't believe in the portal and the whole once you commit to here, you can't take other visits and all that. I just think he's stuck in his ways, man. And you're seeing the results of not wanting to transition into the new age of college football. And I think Hugh Freeze is still stuck back in like 2014, 2015, not wanting to transition into the new age of college football. But he fully lost me with the whole Ashton red shirt. No, that's not even in question. We're going to win. I don't. You should have been winning. You should have been going to win 4 weeks ago. I just don't get. Yeah, that was kind of my point, Ernest. Is I think they're two dudes that are just stuck in their ways, and they're gonna run the thing the way they always have, and they're not gonna adapt. Just that simple. Just that simple. So I don't know. Coach Freeze has got it. You got to come away with a win Saturday. If you don't, I don't think he makes it to Sunday. I think they fire him Saturday. I think they fire him Saturday night. I think they fire him Saturday night. I don't think they wait till Sunday. I don't think they wait till Monday. I think when the plane lands back in Auburn, they fire him if he loses Saturday. And right now, I have Auburn losing because guess what? I don't trust Auburn. I don't trust you. I don't trust you to make plays late in games anymore. Attitude reflects leadership. That's a fact. Receivers even stopped going there. I just want a defensive head coach that'll hire someone to run the offense and only has to focus on the offense. I'm tired of the offensive head coaches. And I was watching Brooks Austin the other night. I really enjoy his work. If you don't follow him, go follow him on YouTube. He's called the Film Guy. Runs the Film Guy Network. He said that if you really look up at the statistics and look at the previous national champion coaches, none of them are offensive coordinators. So none of them call plays and things like that. They are head coaches. They have their OC. They have their DC. That's it. None of them are calling their own offense. Just stuck in his old ways. Don't want to give it up. That's what was a red flag too. Is I saw people talking about when New Mexico State should have been a red flag. You want to know the red flag for me, and I still believed after this, but the red flag for me was me looking at my wife in the Cal game at the end of the third quarter, and I said, "Babe, we got to get up and we got to leave." And she looked at me and she was like, "Why are you leaving?" And I was like, "Kelsey, I'm not staying here and I'm not watching this. I'm not doing it. I can't watch them lose to Cal." That was a red flag. Another red flag is the year before at Cal. Year one, they go on a game winning drive at the end of the game. Last opportunity to go win it. He gets in the presser and he's me, 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 me. I called that play. And then at the end of the season, it's, well, Philip Montgomery wasn't the offensive coordinator that we were looking for. Red flags we missed everywhere. And I apologize to all the Auburn fans out there. I really do. Well, I always ask myself why I'm an Auburn fan again. I don't ever ask myself that, Daniel, because I love Auburn 24/7, 365, brother. And I don't give a damn if Auburn is 0-12 or 12-0. I will sit here and scream "War Damn Eagle" until my last breath on God's green earth, brother. That's just it, man. I'll never question my fandom. You'll never have to question my fandom. Um, it's tough. There's hard times, rough times that we're going through right now. But hopefully it all comes to an end. So with that, y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all any longer, man. 3-4 football team, 0-4 in the SEC, have started 0-4 every year under Hugh Freeze in the SEC. That is not Auburn football, man. We will be back Thursday night to talk about Arkansas, preview it. Actually, I'm not going to say I'll be back at 7 on Thursday. Look, I've been working long, crazy hours at work. I will also be joining Hogs on the Hill Thursday night to preview Auburn and Arkansas on their channel. So hopefully I can share that out. Y'all can go check it out and go watch that. And then I'll get on here live after that, after we do that, and preview it as well with you guys. So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Like the video, leave your comments underneath this video. I try to respond to a lot of them, as many as I can. Like I said, like it, share the video out on social media if you can. It helps the channel a lot. And I appreciate everybody for subbing to the channel, man. I picked up like 30 subs off that last video. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. War Damn Eagle, later. Holler at you Thursday. I'm out.